The albino elephant walked out of the morning mist like a ghost. White skin, pink eyes, massive, a full-grown bull, maybe 40 years old, and he was walking directly toward David Ochieng. David had been a ranger in Kenya's Tsavo region for 19 years. He had seen elephants do many things: charge, flee, mourn, play. He had never seen one do this. The bull wasn't charging, wasn't fleeing, wasn't displaying any behavior David recognized. He was walking toward David with purpose, deliberate steps, eyes fixed on the ranger, and he wasn't stopping. Albino elephants were among the rarest animals on Earth. David had heard of maybe 3 confirmed sightings in all of East Africa. He had never seen one himself, until now. But the rarity wasn't what made David's blood run cold. It was the approach. Wild elephants didn't walk toward humans, they avoided them. Even the ones habituated to vehicles kept their distance from people on foot. A bull elephant approaching a human on foot meant one of 2 things: aggression or something very, very wrong. David's hand moved to his radio. The elephant kept coming. 50 meters now, then 40, then 30. David could see the details now: the pale, almost translucent skin, the pink around the eyes and ears, the massive tusks yellowed with age. And something else. Something in the elephant's gait, a hesitation, a wrongness. The bull was limping. David saw it when the elephant turned slightly. A wound on his left side, deep, infected. The flesh around it swollen and discolored, visible even against the pale skin. A bullet wound. Poachers. They had shot him, probably days ago, maybe a week. The bullet was still inside, or the damage it left was festering. The elephant was dying, and somehow, impossibly, he had found a ranger station, found a human in uniform, found the one species that had hurt him, and walked toward it anyway. David's hand dropped from his radio. The elephant stopped 10 meters away. For a long moment, neither moved. Then, the bull did something that made David question everything he thought he knew. He knelt. An elephant kneeling was not a natural posture. It was something they did when they were too weak to stand, when they were dying, when they had given up. But this elephant wasn't collapsed. He had lowered himself deliberately, carefully, his wounded side now facing David, exposed, showing him, "Look, this is what's wrong. This is why I came." David stood frozen. 19 years as a ranger, countless encounters with elephants, but nothing had prepared him for this. The albino bull looked at him with pink eyes that held an intelligence David had always known was there, but had never seen so clearly. "Help me." Not spoken, but understood. David keyed his radio. "Base, this is Ochieng. I need the vet team at my location, now. And you're not going to believe what I'm looking at."
This is Ranger David. The albino elephant is in sight, moving slowly north. Requesting backup observation.
The veterinary team was 40 minutes out. 40 minutes with a wounded bull elephant kneeling 10 meters away. David did something he had never done in 19 years of rangering. He sat down. Not because protocol said to. Protocol said to maintain distance, maintain authority, maintain the separation between human and wild. But the elephant had already broken every protocol. He had crossed the distance first. He had asked for help in the only way he could.
We must move
The
quickly.
least David could do
He's
was
heading
wait with
towards the
him.
boundary, and
He
we
sat
can't
in the
afford
red
to lose him
Tsavo
now.
dust, his back against an acacia tree, and he talked. "I don't know if you can understand me. Probably not, but I'm going to talk anyway because this is strange enough already." The elephant's ears moved slightly, listening, or just reacting to sound. "You came a long way to find us, didn't you? How did you know? How did you know we could help?" The pink eyes watched him. No answer, just presence. Just 2 beings sitting together in the morning light, waiting for help to arrive. The veterinary truck arrived in a cloud of dust. Dr. Sarah Kamani jumped out, already pulling on gloves. She stopped when she saw the scene. David, is that? Albino bull, yes. Bullet wound, left side, infected. And Sarah, he walked here. He's been kneeling like that for almost an hour. Sarah approached slowly. The elephant's eyes tracked her, but he didn't move, didn't rise, didn't show any sign of aggression. He was waiting for them. I've never seen anything like this, Sarah whispered.
Okay, big
He's
one.
presenting the wound.
You are
I know.
safe now.
Sarah prepared the tranquilizer. Standard protocol for
will
treating a wounded
always
elephant.
protect
Sedate
you,
first,
friend.
treat second. Hope the animal survived both. But as she raised the dart gun, something happened. The elephant turned his head and looked directly at David. I trusted you. David held up his hand. Wait. David, we have to sedate him. The infection. I know. Just give me a minute. David walked toward the elephant. Every instinct screamed at him to stop. A wounded bull was dangerous, unpredictable. One swing of that trunk could kill him. But the pink eyes never wavered, never showed fear or aggression, only trust. David stopped 2 meters away, close enough to touch. "We're going to help you," he said softly, "but we need to put you to sleep first, just for a little while. You'll wake up and the pain will be gone." The elephant's trunk rose slowly. David didn't flinch. The trunk touched his chest, gentle, exploratory, feeling his heartbeat, learning his scent. Then it withdrew. The elephant lowered his head. Acceptance. David stepped back and nodded to Sarah. The dart flew. The bullet was lodged near the elephant's shoulder blade. Sarah worked quickly once the sedation took hold. The team had done this before, treated gunshot wounds, removed bullets, saved elephants that poachers had tried to kill. But never on an animal like this. "The infection is severe," Sarah said, probing the wound. "Another few days and it would have been systemic. He'd be dead within a week." He knew, David said quietly. Somehow, he knew. Sarah found the bullet, a heavy caliber, the kind poachers used. She extracted it carefully, cleaned the wound, packed it with antibiotics. "He's going to have a hell of a scar, but he'll live." David watched the pale chest rise and fall. An albino elephant, one of the rarest animals on Earth, and he had walked out of the wilderness to ask humans for help. Not any humans, rangers, the ones in uniform, the ones who protected instead of killed. Somehow he had known the difference. The elephant awoke slowly. His legs moved first, testing, then his trunk, then his massive head lifted from the ground. The team had retreated to a safe distance, standard protocol. You never knew how an elephant would react after sedation. But this elephant didn't charge, didn't flee. He stood, slowly, carefully, tested his weight on all 4 legs, turned his head to look at the wound, now cleaned, treated, already beginning to heal. Then he turned to face the humans. David stepped forward, ignoring Sarah's hiss of warning. The elephant's trunk rose. Not a threat, a greeting. It reached across the distance between them, 3 meters, then 2, then 1, and touched David's chest again. The same spot, over his heart. "Thank you." David's eyes burned.
It's all right, my friend.
He didn't wipe them.
We will
"You're
protect
welcome,"
you.
he
You are
whispered.
not alone.
"Now go. Go back to the wild and stay away from the ones who hurt you." The albino elephant stood for a long moment. His pink eyes moved across the team, Sarah, the assistants, the vehicles, then back to David. Something passed between them, something that would never be fully explained or understood. A wild animal had sought out humans, had trusted them, had allowed them to help, and now he was leaving. The bull turned slowly, favoring his wounded side, but moving well. He walked toward the tree line, toward the wilderness that had always been his home. At the edge of the brush, he stopped. He turned his head one final time, raised his trunk toward the sky, that gesture elephants make that looks almost like a salute. Then he walked into the trees, and the mist swallowed him, white on white, until he was gone. David filed his report that afternoon. He kept it clinical, professional. An injured bull elephant had approached the ranger station and was successfully treated for a gunshot wound. He didn't write about the kneeling, the trunk on his chest, the pink eyes that seemed to hold understanding beyond what any animal should possess. Some things didn't fit in reports. Some things were just between him and the elephant. 3 months later, David was on patrol in the northern sector. He saw a shape in the distance, white against the red Tsavo dust. The albino bull, healthy now, the scar visible on his side, but healed. David stopped his vehicle. The elephant stopped too. For a long moment, they looked at each other across the distance. Then the bull raised his trunk, that same gesture, that same salute. David raised his hand. The elephant turned and walked into the wilderness, gone again. But David knew somehow that this wasn't goodbye. It was just until next time. People ask sometimes how animals know, how they find help, how they distinguish between humans who hurt and humans who heal, how they decide to trust when every instinct should tell them to run. David never had a good answer. He only knew what he had seen. An albino elephant, rarer than almost any creature on Earth, had walked out of the mist and chosen to trust him, had knelt before him with a wound exposed, had touched his heart and asked for help. And when the help was given, had said thank you in the only language he knew. Some connections don't need explanation. Some trust is older than words. And some mornings, the wild walks towards you, and all you have to do is be ready to meet it.